What's going on, y'all? We're back, episode 140. Today is titled Respect Yourself. The reason why I want to have an episode today, when it comes to the mindset component, and we're talking about respecting yourself, it's because something that you need to do. And I believe now, before you can even be a leader, help anybody else, you have to stick to your foundation. So, what does respecting yourself mean to you? And that's what you need to define. It's having that foundation, working out every day. It's having the respect to respect your body, give it the fuel it needs, the proper adequate nutrition. It's the healthy relationships that you feel like your cup is not going to be drained. It's understanding that you can go above and beyond for your family and showing up while also filling your cup. And five, making sure that you're the best you can be within the moment every single time. And I think that's one of the things right now that we see a lot of men struggling with is they think that they can't have it all. You absolutely can have it all, but it's going to require work. It's going to require ethics. It's going to require morality. It's going to require more than what you've ever done. And that's what I can say. As I've been on this journey of getting sober, haven't drank since October of 21, or excuse me, 22. It's been something that's been apparent to me, is hey, you need to focus on yourself first. And if you can't respect yourself, no one's going to respect you. And what does that mean? It means losing the weight. You know, when you look yourself in the mirror that you're a little pudgy, you got a little bit of fat on you. You know that you've been putting fucking bad shit in your mouth. Respect yourself and don't do it. And that's one of the things that I get irritated with when I hear people is, I love myself. Da-da-da. If you loved yourself, you would respect yourself enough to take care of yourself and you wouldn't be looking the way you do. I used to say the same thing for years. I love myself, but truly didn't understand what it means to love myself because I didn't embody those characteristics. And when I started to eat clean, when I started to focus on my nutrition, when I started to just live in correspondence with the man that I admire, the man that I am, the man that is going above and beyond, that's where my life started to change. Was it was no longer that you're a Marine, no longer the accomplishments, no longer anything else. It was the continual acts of showing up and being the best that I can be is what changed the game for me. So when we talk about respecting yourself, it is making sure that you're putting yourself first. Because again, how are you going to show up for your family? How are you going to show up for anybody if you can't show up for yourself first? And that's the thing. People think that, oh, you can make this money. Oh, you can take care of your family. Oh, you can do all these things. And it just doesn't work like that. You can't do all these things going externally if you haven't solved the internal first. And that is something I learned, especially when it comes to respecting yourself as is you got to respect you and your sanity. For me, it's people. I can't let people around me. And even if you are, you may be a good dude, but you're not locked all the way in. I can't have you around me. Why? Because you're the sum of the five people you surround yourself with, and I will not be around people that don't uphold their word, don't live by their values, and don't show up as the best versions of themselves. Because when I did that, good things didn't come from that. So that's the fact is you need to figure out for you what the life you want to live with and live in correspondence with that. Build the small sustainable actions that are going to lead into living that life. And once you're able to do that, once you're able to show the continual acts of being better, doing better, and being that, you're going to understand things and see it in alignment of who you truly are and why you need to act different. And that's the thing is people don't understand that. People think that it's, oh, bits and pieces, or oh, I can do this on my terms. And it's like that's not the way shit works. You don't just do shit on your terms. You just don't do that. That's why when people go into religion and they think, oh, I can live this on my terms, it's like you want to live things in your terms. Just like the client who tried to tell me that keto is going to work out for him. You're telling me that eating 60 to 70% of your food is going to be healthy fats and that you're going to gain muscle that way. Not eating adequate protein. Come on, man. The things that you are doing is not working. If it was working, you wouldn't hire a coach. You wouldn't hire whatever. And I'm telling you that because I struggled with the same thing. I struggled with respecting myself, being accountable, and holding myself to that word, holding myself to eating clean, holding myself to everything that I thought aligned to what I was. And when it really came down to it, it was me showing up as a different version of myself, being better, showing up, being consistent. Is that I've been doing this shit for years. It's not something brand new. It's not that I came out the woodworks and I was like, I'm lifting weights. I've been doing this shit for years. Let's be fucking frank. The thing is your body's a supercomputer and your body knows exactly what you're doing. So you put garbage in, garbage comes out. And that's the fact is people don't care. It's the lack of care, lack of clarity. And that's why you see dramatic changes when somebody takes the time to focus on what's important to them. And again, you don't heal the external, you don't hear the internal by going external. It doesn't matter all the excess things. That's why fasting for me works from a mindset point of view, because I understand that with less I have more. And that's the thing is people don't understand that. You think you need all these friends, you need all this external shit. And it's like it doesn't work that way. With less is more. Less gives you that. When you have less, it's that. And for me, the way I respect myself is having less around me. I have less people. Why? Because I can count on the people around me that are going to show up every single time, that are going to be about their word. And if not, you can have those conversations to where it's like, hey, man, what's going on? And they give you the straight answers versus people lying to you, not straight shooting, fucking saying whatever. The fact is not many people are going to want to do that because it takes accountability and transparency to understand what it means to be the best you can be and to show up and so forth. So the fact is if you want to level up your life, you want to focus on being the best you can, being what you can, you're going to have to embody some new characteristics. You're going to have to become a different version of yourself. You're going to have to respect yourself and put yourself first and foremost. And that's why I just don't fuck with a lot of people or fuck with certain things. Or even if you say you're going to come back in my life and act a certain way, whatever, your actions are going to dictate the way that everything else follows in your life. And if you can't be a solid motherfucker and uphold your words, uphold your morality, uphold your code, uphold everything that you're doing, then it's not going to work out. But if you can, that's where, the good's going to come from that. And again, it starts with respecting yourself, respect your boundaries, respect the life that you build, respect everything that you're embodying, what you're doing, how you're showing up, and whatever. And when you start to have that, you're going to understand that it is congruence. Congruence is a term where it's saying everything in your life follows in line. It's why I have podcast interviews and I'm already locked into this mindset of positivity, of focusing, being the best I can be. And people are literally saying the same thing that I am because source, God, the universe, everything is within you. So when you empower yourself for those things, you attract and align with people who are doing the exact same thing. And that's the thing is when you have that level of respect, when you have that level of discipline, it goes in congruence with the world and other people start to see that within you. That's why when you lose the weight, that's why when you share that healing journey, all of a sudden the people who didn't understand and they're like, oh fuck, I didn't know you went through this. The fact is you've were able to tap into that mental framework. You were able to tap into that transparency, that level of understanding with people by doing the work, by showing them the layers that were beneath because you respected yourself so much to be vulnerable and to share that. That's why I get on here and I say things. That's why I get on here and I be truthful and tell my story because my story resonates with me versus somebody else, it may not. And that's the thing is when you have that level of respect, whatever in it. And I come from a place where respect is everything. And that is something is if I'm going to invest my time into you, you're going to be a good person because I just don't invest myself into anyone. I've learned from the hard way that you put your hand in front of a snake, it's going to bite you. So I don't get bit by snakes. When you start to be aware and cognizant of what you have around you, of respecting your boundaries, of respecting what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable, you're going to understand that life comes at you in a different way, fashion, medium, and you're going to give life a different amount of energy. So when it comes to respecting yourself, start with your foundations. What are your foundational principles? How do you show up in life? How are you getting the workouts in? What does your nutrition look like? What do the relationships in your life look like? What does the business in your life look like? Is it draining? Is it something to where you can't regulate those emotions? And when you can, and you build that level of respect for yourself, when you build that foundation, when you build those wins, you're going to start to see things differently and understand that, hey, I have to operate in a different manner if I want different results. As always, if you want to know 5 ways to recalibrate your mindset, click on the link in the show notes. Click on the link in my bio on Instagram at Alundis Havens, and that's how you're going to be able to get the 5 ways to recalibrate your mindset. So thank you for tuning in. This is just the daily. We got more tomorrow.